Prime Minister Tariq Rahman visits the overall condition and cleanliness of city management of Dhaka North City Corporation. Labour market in Malaysia is opening after a long time by the sincere effort of the government, probably sending workers by end of next month. Government is pledge bound to establish a liberal democratic country against fanatics and fundamentalism, says LGRD minister. The proposals of Law Reform Commission will be implemented on the basis of July Charter, says Law Minister. No conspiracy, direct or indirect, will be tolerated to divide the people of the country, says Information and Broadcasting Minister. Government will provide financial help if thalassemia patients seek, says Health Minister. Database of helpless destitute patients being prepared to ensure quick service, says Dr. Zubaida Rahman. Price of most vegetables, onions and eggs including green chili is increased. Buyers opine to strengthen monitoring. Hamas agrees to disarmament plan of US President Donald Trump. And Bangladesh to leave Dhaka tonight to play two-match test series in Australia after a long 23-year halt. Assalamu alaikum, this is Kimi Aurin welcoming you to News at 10. You have just heard the highlights, now on to the details. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman today personally drove through different roads under the Dhaka North City Corporation DNCC to inspect the city's cleanliness as part of his government efforts to make Dhaka a cleaner capital. The Prime Minister left his Gulshan residence at 4:05 p.m. and drove the vehicle himself. During the inspection, he passed through Shamoli, Bijay Sharoni, Rokia Sharoni, Mirpur 10, Kochukhet and Shaurapara, before returning to his Gulshan residence around the time of Maghrib prayers after touring the roads for about 2.5 hours. The Prime Minister has repeatedly stated that he wants to see Dhaka as a clean city. That is why he was personally touring the city roads to inspect the cleanliness situation. State Minister for LGRD and Cooperatives Mir Shahi Alam, DNCC Administrator Mohammad Shafiqul Islam Khan Milton, BNP Special Secretary Belayat Hussain, Prime Minister's Private Secretary M. Mohammad Mehedul Islam and Assistant Private Secretary Abdul Rahman Sani accompanied the Prime Minister in the vehicle. After a prolonged suspension, Malaysia's labour market is set to reopen for Bangladeshi workers. At a press conference held at the Bangladesh High Commission in Kuala Lumpur, Prime Minister's advisor and chief spokesperson at the Prime Minister's office, Mahdi Amin, announced that Bangladesh and Malaysia had reached a consensus during bilateral talks on recruiting Bangladeshi workers across all sectors and subsectors. He said that once the necessary formalities are completed, the first batch of Bangladeshi workers could be sent to Malaysia as early as the last week of August. Labour and Employment and Expatriates Welfare and Overseas Employment Minister Ariful Haq Choudhury was also present at the press conference. The minister said that no recruiting agency involved in unethical practices or syndicates would be included in the new recruitment list. He further said that in the first phase, the government has proposed sending workers through the state-owned Boisal. In 2024, the recruitment of Bangladeshi workers to Malaysia was effectively suspended due to irregularities in the hiring process, excessive migration costs, the dominance of syndicate, and complications in sending workers within the stipulated time frame. According to analysts, the full reopening of Malaysia's labour market will significantly expand overseas employment opportunities for Bangladeshis. It's also expected to boost remittance inflows while further strengthening the economic and diplomatic ties between the two countries. Affordable Hajj and Umrah packages are available under one roof at the National Hajj and Umrah Fair. Organizers said the fair allows visitors to register directly with authorized Hajj agencies, helping them avoid fraud by unauthorized agencies and middlemen. The fair was inaugurated this morning at the Bangladesh-China Friendship Conference Center in the capital's Agargaon. Visitors who book packages during the fair can receive special discounts and other benefits. Special arrangements have also been made to provide banking services and financial assistance related to Hajj and Umrah. The fair is being organized under the direct supervision of members of the private Hajj and Umrah Hub. Visitors can collect information about services offered by different Hajj agencies. They can also receive advice and guidance before choosing a package. Around 96% of Bangladesh's Hajj pilgrims perform Hajj and Umrah through private agencies. Democracy, accountability, and proper research play an important role in running a country. Prime Minister's Finance and Planning Advisor Dr. Rashid Al Mahmood Titumir said publications based on free thinking and research help develop critical thinking in society. He made the remarks today at the unveiling of the book Narrative of Authoritarianism from Exile Speaking Truth to Power at the Bisho Sahitya Kendro in the capital. Rashid Al Mahmood Titumir said the new book, written by Dr. Musharraf Hussain, analyzes authoritarianism, exile, and the challenges of speaking the truth. He said the book would make an important contribution to political studies. He also said the book is based on years of research, personal experience, and the international political context. Dr. Rashid Al Mahmood Titumir also said the book will be a valuable resource for future researchers, students, and policymakers. LGRD and Cooperatives Minister Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has called upon the people to stay united against those attempting to divide the nation on the basis of religion. The LGRD minister made the call while speaking as the chief guest at a discussion titled Ensuring Protection and Security of Minorities, organized by the Sammilito Sanatan Porishad at Diploma Engineers Institution in Dhaka today. Highlighting the government's inclusive policies, Fakhrul pointed out that the current administration, in its 31-point state reform agenda, outlined the plan to ensure representation of Sanatan ethnic minority, plain land and hill communities in the state affairs. Recalling the nation's struggle for liberation, he noted that the 1971 War of Liberation was fought on the core ideals of freedom, sovereignty, and unity, regardless of religious identity. Acknowledging past democratic setbacks over the 15 years of Hasina regime, the minister stressed that a fully functioning democratic system is the only guarantee for protecting the equal rights, freedom of worship, and life and property of all citizens. Cultural Affairs Minister Nitai Rao Chaudhary inaugurated the event. Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Minister Mohammad Asaduzzaman has said that the recommendations of the Law Reform Commission will be implemented in accordance with the July Charter. He made the remarks this morning while responding to questions from journalists after inaugurating a tree fair at the old DC Court premises in Jhinai. The Law Minister said that the Law Reform Commission issued 133 ordinances during the tenure of the interim government, adding that the current government has accepted nearly all of them. Meanwhile, State Minister for Civil Aviation and Tourism M. Rashiduzzaman Millat said that the government has adopted a comprehensive master plan to attract both domestic and international tourists to Bangladesh. He expressed hope that the implementation of the plan would significantly advance the country's tourism sector. Information and Broadcasting Minister Zohairuddin Shapon has said that no direct or indirect conspiracy to create division among the people of Bangladesh based on ethnicity, geography, language, race, gender, or religion will be allowed to succeed. He said that if anyone attempts to use followers of any religion for political or personal gain or seeks to dominate the state through religion, it would amount to opposing the Creator, humanity, and the true essence of religion. The minister made the remarks today while addressing the biennial conference of the Borishal district unit of the Bangladesh Puja Ujjapon Porishad as the chief guest at the Borishal District Shilpakala Academy auditorium. Highlighting the importance of preserving religious harmony and promoting public awareness, the minister said that genuine religious practice becomes meaningful only when believers can distinguish true faith from those who exploit religion for personal interests. Reaffirming the government's commitment to ensuring equal rights for all citizens, the minister said that Prime Minister Tariq Rahman is the strongest advocate of equal rights for every citizen. He added that the government has learned from history and recognizes that failing to fulfill promises made to the people could lead history to repeat itself. For that reason, the Prime Minister has clearly stated religion belongs to individuals, the state belongs to everyone. The conference was presided over by Manik Mukherjee Kudu, President of the Borishal District Puja Ujjapon Porishad. Special guests included Bilkis Akhtar Jahan Shirin, Administrator of the Borishal City Corporation, and Akon Kuddusur Rahman, Administrator of the Borishal District Council. The keynote address was delivered by Shantosh Sharma, journalist and General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Bangladesh Puja Ujjapon Porishad. Earlier, the chief guest hoisted the national flag during the playing of the national anthem. At the beginning of the discussion session, 5 heroic freedom fighters were accorded a special reception in recognition of their contributions. Later, the minister exchanged views with the leaders of Borishal Television Media Association and Committee to prevent journalist abuse at the Circuit House. President of Borishal Television Media Association, Mohammad Humayun Kobir, and General Secretary Akhtar Farooq Shaheen were present, among others. Vice President of Ziaur Rahman Foundation, Dr. Zubaida Rahman, has said a national database is being prepared to provide Medicare services to the patients. She said this at the Blood Donor Award 2026 program marking the World Blood Donor Day in the capital today. Bangladesh Thalassemia Shomiti arranged the event at the Engineers Institution. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Zubaida Rahman said that thalassemia is a preventable disease, and so extensive service-oriented campaigns will be carried out to raise public awareness. She also laid emphasis on expanding service-oriented program and imparting training to the health workers at union and village level. Dr. Zubaida Rahman mentioned that blood donation helps save the life of critical patients. She called upon all to step forward according to their ability for this great task. Addressing the program, Health and Family Welfare Minister Mohammad Shakawat Hussain informed that if the thalassemia patients apply to the Health and Family Welfare Ministry for financial assistance, then appropriate measures will be taken after necessary scrutiny. Administrator of Dhaka South City Corporation Freedom Fighter Abdul Salam, Executive Director of Ziaur Rahman Foundation, Professor Dr. Farhad Halim Donor, President of Doctors Association of Bangladesh, Professor Dr. Harun al-Rashid, Rajuk Chairman Mohammad Riazul Islam, and President of Bangladesh Thalassemia Shomiti, M.A. Mateen, also spoke. Prices of green chili, most vegetables, onions, and eggs increased in kitchen markets. Consumers are most concerned about the sharp rise in green chili prices. The higher prices of vegetables have added to shoppers' frustration. Onions joined the list of daily necessities with rising prices. Farm egg prices also increased slightly. Some varieties of rice, sugar, packaged food products, and personal care items are also selling at high prices. Consumers question the continued rise in prices of essential commodities. Civil society representatives called for stronger action against unjustified price hikes. They said some traders use bad weather as an excuse to increase prices. They urged the government to take strong action against those who raise prices without justification. Moving on to international news. U.S. President Donald Trump says the Board of Peace has reached an agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas and other armed groups in Gaza. A senior Hamas official has told the BBC they have agreed to a plan to completely disarm in Gaza and that an official statement will be released soon. Israel has yet to comment. Trump said Israel would withdraw from Gaza as disarmament is completed. The U.S. military says it has completed a heavy wave of strikes against Iran in retaliation for Tuesday's attempted ballistic missile attacks on American forces. CENTCOM said it hit dozens of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps IRGC targets in response to Iran's firing on U.S. bases in Jordan and at ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state media said the latest strikes had killed 3 people, including a 2-year-old child, on Qeshm Island, while other locations were also hit in the south and west of the country. The latest hostilities come on a week that has seen the conflict expand, with the first publicly announced joint U.S.-Saudi strikes targeting Iranian proxies in Iraq. Iran and the U.S. have engaged in escalating strikes and counterstrikes since a ceasefire in April aimed at pausing the months-long war fell apart in June. The U.S. has blockaded Iranian ports and bombed Iranian sites, while Iran has fired missiles and drones at U.S. assets in countries across the Middle East and targeted shipping in the economically important Strait of Hormuz, connecting the Gulf and Arabian Sea. On Wednesday, news outlet Axios cited an unnamed U.S. official as saying that Trump had met Saudi Defense Minister Prince Khalid bin Salman, who had conveyed that Saudi Arabia wants to de-escalate tensions. The BBC has contacted the White House for comments. Saudi Arabia is preparing for a major military offensive against the Houthis by sea and possibly by land in central Yemen, Yemeni sources believe, in a move to break the chokehold on its oil exports through the southern Red Sea. Saudi forces have been seen withdrawing from the east of Yemen in what could be preparation for a land offensive. At the same time, Riyadh is trying to organize a naval coalition to protect shipping from Houthi attacks in the Red Sea and the Bab al-Mandab Strait. The Saudi Defense Ministry said on Thursday that 14 states, including Turkey, Egypt, Pakistan, Sudan, and Djibouti, had issued a joint statement supporting a multinational maritime defense coalition. The Iran-aligned Houthis, who control Yemen's capital Sana'a and much of its Red Sea coastline, announced on 20th July that they were implementing a blockade against Saudi ships, but they have denied they are planning to impose tolls on all ships. The group says it will lift the blockade once Saudi Arabia lifts its blockade on Yemen. At least 32 miners have been killed after an explosion tore through a coal mine in Pakistan's southwestern Balochistan province, officials said, as hopes of finding survivors fade. The deadly blast occurred on Thursday at a coal mine in Sorange, a remote area near the provincial capital Quetta, and was likely caused by a buildup of methane gas. We have recovered 29 bodies so far. Our rescuers have located 3 more bodies inside the mine and are trying to recover them, an official of the Provincial Disaster Management Authority said early on Friday. Mohammad Atif, the chief inspector of mines in the province, had earlier said that there were 36 miners inside at the time of the explosion. Abdul Ghani Baloch, another senior government mining official in the region, said 2 mines close to each other were damaged in the powerful explosion. At least 9 people have died after huge crowds of migrants breached the border to the North African Spanish enclave of Ceuta from neighboring Morocco, authorities said. The deaths came after the government of Ceuta said on Thursday that between 1,500 and 2,000 people had entered in the last 10 days. Hundreds more were estimated to have arrived on Thursday, prompting the regional president, Jesus Vivas, to declare an absolute humanitarian and social emergency and call on Madrid to send troops to reassert control of the border. Spain's Interior Ministry rejected calls to declare a national emergency, saying such a measure does not cover migration crisis but promised additional resources. Later, the Interior Ministry announced that the armed forces will send 60 troops to reinforce the border. 10 climbers led by renowned Nepali mountaineer Nirmal Purja are feared missing after an avalanche in northern Pakistan where they were on a climbing expedition, the country's Alpine Club said. The Alpine Club of Pakistan (ACP) has received deeply concerning reports of an avalanche that struck a team of climbers on Broad Peak in the Karakoram mountain range, the club said late on Thursday, adding that the team was led by Purja and could not be reached since the incident. Broad Peak is the 12th highest mountain in the world, the ACP said. The expedition comprises 10 people, including 5 from Nepal, 1 from Pakistan, 1 from Oman, 1 from China, 1 from the United States, and another foreign climber whose nationality it did not disclose. The entire team has reportedly been out of communication since the avalanche, the club said. Purja, 43, also known as Neems Dai, has broken multiple climbing records since becoming a full-time mountaineer and tour guide in 2018 after leaving the British military. He climbed all 14 8,000ers in 6 months and 6 days between April and October 2019, a record at the time. Now news on weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said light to moderate rain or thunder showers accompanied by temporary gusty wind is likely to occur at many places over Rangpur, Mymensingh, Borishal, Chattogram and Sylhet divisions and at a few places over Rajshahi, Dhaka and Khulna divisions. Besides, moderately heavy falls is likely to occur at places over the country. Night and day temperature may remain nearly unchanged over the country. Maximum temperature of the country was recorded 35.5 degrees Celsius at Nikli and minimum temperature was recorded 23.6 degrees Celsius at Sylhet in 24 hours since 6 p.m. yesterday. Now news on sports. Bangladesh will leave Dhaka tonight to play a 2-match test series on Australian soil after a long 23-year halt. The Tigers are going on a test tour to Australia for the first time since 2003. Bangladesh will begin their tour of Australia with a 3-day warm-up match against Cricket Australia 11 at the DXC Arena in Darwin from August 6 to 8. Bangladesh and Australia will play their first test at the Marara Cricket Ground in Darwin from August 13. The two teams will then play the second and final test of the series in Mackay on August 22nd. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman visits the overall condition and cleanliness of city management of Dhaka North City Corporation. Labor market in Malaysia is opening after a long time by the sincere effort of government, probably sending workers by end of next month. Government is pledge-bound to establish a liberal democratic country against fanatics and fundamentalism, says LGRD minister. The proposals of Law Reform Commission will be implemented on the basis of July Charter, says Law Minister. No conspiracy, direct or indirect, will be tolerated to divide the people of the country, says Information and Broadcasting Minister. Government will provide financial help if thalassemia patients seek, says Health Minister. Database of helpless destitute patients being prepared to ensure quick service, says Dr. Zubaida Rahman. Price of most vegetables, onion and egg, including green chili, is increased. Buyers opine to strengthen monitoring. Hamas agrees to disarmament plan of US President Donald Trump. And Bangladesh to leave Dhaka tonight to play two-match test series in Australia after a long 23-year halt. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you to watch our next news at 11 in Bangla. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.